Well, good morning and welcome to Brekkie with the Guy Who Sews. Today is Saturday, July, not July. I think poor Dani hopes it's July because she's freezing to death. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But it is Saturday, the 20th of January, 2024. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching a replay, definitely put a comment and let us know that you're watching later on and where you're watching from. And if you're in the chat today, also just say hi and let us know what state or country you're watching from as well. So I do have my friend Dani here from So Not an Expert with us. She's been on with me a few times before, and it's been way too long since we've had her on. I think we're looking at it. I think it was like July. So yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed about that. We should have had her on like 3 times since. But I have so many quilty friends, and it's just like, they have everybody on once a month. I think I'd have to have like 7 lives a week, and yeah, I can't do that. I have job and kids and all that other sort of stuff. Anyway, so enough jabber-jawing from me. Let's let Dani introduce herself for anyone that hasn't seen her. And if you haven't seen her, you need to go over and check out her channel. She's a lot of fun and one of my faves.
Oh, thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. And good morning. Yes, it has been forever since we've gotten together. And I don't think that that's necessarily your fault. I think that we've both just been too busy and really haven't been able to kind of connect back again. So I'm really excited to
Mhm.
be back on the channel. I'm really excited to be part of your community again. Good morning to everybody on your community. Good morning to any of the friends from my community that have come over. Welcome. So yeah, I'm just really excited to be here.
Well, good. And I mean, I'm sure people are just waking up as well because, it's 8 o'clock here on the East Coast, and then you're at 7 p.m. in Central. And then we have folks from all over. I mean, I think we've got, I think so with Debbie, is here with us this morning. I think she's over on the West Coast. If I remember correctly, she's in British Columbia. Correct me if I'm wrong, which is 5 a.m. So, I mean, that's just, yeah, I say it every week, but it really does amaze me that folks hop up at 5 o'clock, even if they're just, you know, laying in bed watching or listening, I think it's great. So, let's try again. Kathy is asking how I'm feeling, and I'm feeling a whole lot better. I'm not 100%, but I'm so much better than I was last week. If you watched my video on Monday, with the reveal of the Fab Farm quilt, my voice was horrible. It took every bit of my power to squeak that out, but yeah, definitely a whole lot better. I actually got to sleep through the whole night last night without waking up coughing and carrying on. So yeah, not totally out of the woods yet, but we're about 85, 90% out of the woods. So definitely really, really good news. So okay, Debbie says I got it right, or Deb, I'll get the name right in a minute as well. So let's just see who is here. My friend Pat Strawhouse is here. Good morning and welcome. Teresa Lynch. Deb is here from So With Debbie. If you haven't seen her channel, she has a fun channel, and it is Deb, if I remember correctly. Let's see. Um, okay, perfect. I did get it right. So her channel name is So With Debbie, but her name is Deb. So her channel link is in there as well. Judy Herbert says, good morning from cold Georgia. Kathy Darla, we just talked about. Cynthia Maria Field, Pepsi Girl 1956 is with us. I believe she's from the UK, if I remember correctly. Good morning, Joyty from North Carolina. She's one of my neighbors, because I'm like 20 miles from the North Carolina border. Let's see, guess who? Nancy is here with us, and my friend Denise, I think it is, from In Quilt Factors here as well. I should have her channel in I think it's under Denise, if I remember correctly. And her channel's just exploded. I was looking at her the other day, her channel last night. I think she had like 1,000 subscribers like 2 weeks ago, and she's almost at 2,000. Like she has just exploded. She's like,
Wow, congrats to
yeah,
her.
I don't know what she's doing right, but I need to go take lessons from her because whatever she's doing right, yeah, she's doing something right. I mean, she's doing really, really well with that as well. So, um,
Wow.
okay. So, Dani, let us know, what are you planning on working on today?
So today I'm working on a mystery project that I've been teasing my channel with for a while. I've been working on it on and off for, gosh, at least 6 months, maybe even a year. And every time I work on it, I give my channel a little bit more of a clue and as to what it might be, so they can keep guessing as what it is. It's actually a gift for a close friend of mine, and it's one of those things where they watch the channel, and as soon as I say what the actual pattern is, they're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, that's for me," because it's very obvious what it is. But I keep giving them little bitty clues as to what it might be. So today I'm going to give them a really big clue because they keep guessing as to what it might be. But today I'm going to tell you that it is a stained glass project. I've had a lot of guesses as to what it might be, but it's a stained glass project. It's got a lot of strip sets that need to be done with it. So that's what I've been working through, is all the different strip sets, and then you've got to cut them at different angles to kind of put them together. So that's what I've been working on. So it's a stained glass project, but I can't tell you exactly which stained glass it is because that'll give it away. But yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh, excellent. That's really cool as well. Oh, it's Debbie. Okay. Not Denise. Okay. I'm terrible of names. So for me to get close like that, I did well. So all right, I'm just gonna have to go fix my butt real quick because I put in Denise like a fool. But we keep it real here on the guy who sews. We are not perfect. Okay, so sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so if you want to go check out the in Quilt Fact, I'll get that name right one of these days. Her channel link is now going to be Debbie with Debbie. And that kind of works out well because my friend Deb from Sew with Debbie is Deb. So that way we can keep those two corrected. And then sorry, I'm just all over the place this morning. Have you ever seen that movie where they had that like little cartoon character with the squirrel? Is it Ice? Is it Ice Age?
I think it's Ice Age, yeah.
Yeah, that is me in the nutshell. Like um I'm so squirrely. It's not funny. Janice
Oh,
here
that's
from
okay. I do the same thing on my channel. I just completely go off in random directions.
yeah. If you're looking for a polished, perfect channel where everything goes smoothly, you have landed in the wrong place. I apologize. I hope you
I
enjoyed your
think
time
you're
here.
lost.
Yeah, and I hope you'll find what you're looking for, and if you need some help, I might have some suggestions for you as well. But
Yeah,
there we go.
right.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so
no, that
Dani told us she's working on. Yeah, we are a hot mess today, but that's okay. That's how we are.
that's fine.
So
It's
you
fine.
explain what you're working on. I am going to get sewing in just a minute, I promise. Once I explain what I'm doing. Okay, so um, I have got. I've been working on this for like about a year and a half, just like you. The Hunter Star, and I've done several of these blocks. I've actually done 7. And I was telling Danny about this earlier. Originally, I was planning on doing 8 blocks for a lap quilt, but that's going to make my quilt 40 by 80, which is a little narrow and way too long. I'd made this pattern before. I thought I used 8 blocks for it. I actually used 6, and then did a border around the edge. And as I was telling Danny beforehand, I think the 40 by 60 is going to be just a little short, a little narrow. So what I plan on doing is putting this together later on and then doing another little border because I don't have enough of this fabric left over to make a border. So I'm just kind of continue this on like 3 inches or so on each side with the star. So it kind of continues on and make a border. So it's kind of hard to explain, but you'll see in the next week or two, hopefully, if all goes well, what I'm talking about. So this is actually block number 8. So I'm actually going to continue on with this, and I might just make a couple of small wall hangings. So they'll end up like 20 by 20, and they'll look beautiful somewhere as well. So you'll get to see it go together. But this block more than likely won't make it into the final quilt, but we'll do something pretty with it. So that's what I have going on. Okay, good morning, Fallon from So Be It Quilt. It is good to see you here as well. Her channel name is link is Fallon. So definitely go check her channel out. She was with me last week and it was a lot of fun. And I actually won her giveaway the other day too. So yeah, I was super excited. She was giving away a 14-inch version of this.
Oh,
I have the 24. I've been wanting the 14 forever. So I was super excited that my number came out. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. I love this ruler. If you're looking for a really good ruler, These are not cheap, unfortunately, but they're handmade here in the US. That's a small business and it's worth every penny. I love these things. This is all I use for yardage. And they're really, really good for trimming around the edge of quilts once you've done all your quilting and all that sort of stuff there as well. So
Nice.
there you go. And she has a lot of fans as well. So all right. So let's see. Did I miss
Just a
anything?
couple.
Just a couple?
She has just a couple friends.
Yeah, just a couple of friends. Yeah, she actually hit 30,000 subscribers the other day. So that was part of her giveaway was for 30,000. So
Yeah, like I said,
um
just a couple.
yeah. Yeah. I want to be like her when I grow up, you know. So
Right? Right?
all right. So we'll go ahead and start sewing. It's gonna be a lot of chain piecing today for me,
Hmm. Yeah, for me
which
it's
is
just straight stitch sewing because I've got all these strip sets to do. This one here is 6 colored pieces with 6 black pieces. The black pieces are 3/4 inch. So by the time you get your 2/4 inch seams in there, it's only a 1/4 inch left. So it's
oh,
it's a little tricky.
I'm doing
So
this
I'm
wrong.
gonna go real slow and take my time. But Sean, you had mentioned when you first introduced the channel about the weather.
Yes. Yeah, let's
And
talk about that. But before we do that, why don't we have everybody tell us where you're watching from today, like just state or country, you know, because we like to keep everyone's privacy as much as we can. And then let us know what the
absolutely.
current and and then let's see, yeah, state or country, because we have people watching from the UK, sometimes Australia, that sort of thing there as well. And what is the current temperature outside? I mean, you can tell us the wind chill if you want. You can tell us the air temperature. For me, I think it's about 25 degrees Fahrenheit or -5 Celsius. If anyone's watching from outside, oh, geez, my voice is going again. That's okay. We'll make it work. Yeah, let us know in the chat. Okay, but yeah, let us know you're in the Illinois area. Danny, let me know
Yeah.
how warm it is where you are.
It is super warm here right now. We are in a warm up from last week. It is currently
Two.
2 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, so 2 degrees Fahrenheit, that is about -17 Celsius for anyone that is in the metric world. And that's about the temperature of your standard freezer.
Yeah. And you were just telling me before we went live what the temperature in Antarctica was.
Yes, we looked it up last night. If you're at McMurdo Station, which is one of the main research stations in Antarctica, it's currently 23 degrees. So, depending on where you are right now, you may actually be colder than the South Pole. So, so
It's
there,
funny. It's really all it is.
yeah, I mean, we're 2 degrees warmer than in Antarctica here in Virginia right now. So, but in their defense, Antarctica is in the middle of summer. So, you've got to take that with a little bit of grain of salt. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's see. Western Kentucky is at 5 degrees Celsius. So you guys are twinning in there right now, it seems like, or close enough, give or take a few degrees.
Yeah.
Dragonflies with Donna is here with us. She says, sorry, I'm late. I swear the time said 10 something this morning. Ah, maybe it did. Sometimes YouTube does really weird stuff, or I just put it in wrong. I thought I selected 8, but maybe I put it 8 Mountain. Who knows? I wonder why there was not many people here this morning, so maybe that's what it is. Okay, all right. Nora says at DFW, Dallas Fort Worth, it's 20 degrees. Texas is 19 degrees. Georgia is 13 degrees, wind chill. Okay, so I'm not going to complain about the weather anymore because apparently I'm in the hot pocket.
You're in the hot pocket. Texas
Leslie
is
G.
only 15. That is really bad for them. They're not
I
used to
know,
this kind of cold.
Richmond, Virginia is 22, which is about the same as it is here, about 2 hours east of Richmond. So there we go. Western Canada is 3 degrees Celsius. What? We're colder than British Columbia? 3 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
That's about 30. That's about 38. So yeah. All right. How about that? Same thing in the southern part of the UK is 3 degrees Celsius. So they're about 37, 38 as well. So apparently, if you want to get warm, you need to go to the UK or British Columbia right now. So there we go. Janine, let us know how warm or cold it is where you are, because I know you're up in upstate New York. So I'd hate to imagine what your temperature are right now. Good morning, Gloria from King William. Virginia, she is a good buddy of mine who I've got to meet a couple of times as well. Um, Balance says it's 28, feels like 18 in the Houston area. So did I miss anyone? Teresa Lynch says 25 degrees Fahrenheit in North Carolina. Joyce's at 22 in North Carolina. So yeah, it looks like we're all over the place. But yeah, apparently, yeah, North Carolina, Virginia seems to be somewhat warm. But yeah, if you want to get warm, you need to go to McMurdo Station in Antarctica or yeah, British Columbia, apparently. So there we go. All right. So Nellie Franco says, good morning from New York City. It's good to see you and thank you for joining us. And if I missed saying hi, I apologize. It's hard to keep up with the chat and do everything else as well. And I already goofed up and had to pull up my very, very bestest friend. So
The
there you go.
co-host of the show.
Hey, it's not okay. So we always joke Ian from the Off Kilter Crafter that it's not a live until he falls over. It's not a live here on the guy who sews until you bring out my very, very bestest friend Jack. So I sewed on the line instead of a 1/4 inch off the line because I haven't made this pattern in a while. So there you go. We'll get it right eventually, right?
Someday.
Yeah. Hey, you said
Yeah,
you
Jack
always
is
say
the co-host of my show.
yeah. It was funny because I was looking at the name Jack and everything else, and Jack has a very big influence in my family, apparently, because it's my paternal grandfather's first name,
Huh,
and when we adopted Copper, our beagle, the name that he had at the shelter was Jack.
huh.
But that should have been a sign. Like that really should
It
have just
should have
been a
been.
sign.
It should have been.
I didn't put the connections together until quite recently, but yeah, that the sign should have been there. Hey, Sean, this is why Jack's your best friend because all that sort of stuff there. Pat Strawhouse says currently, what the hey is that? Okay, yeah, you can keep that mess. Currently minus 20, -8 Fahrenheit, feeling
Oh,
like
that's what it was
minus
like
20.
for us last week. Yeah, I feel you, Pat. It was like that last week. That's why I said we're in a bit of a warm up this week because it was like that last week. It was -15 was the high temperature.
Okay, that explains why the Canadian National Railroad sent me that email the other day talking about the cold weather issues. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So, guess who Nancy says next week we're going to be in the 50s, and I was talking to Danny about this before we started. Yeah, we're supposed to be close to 70 like by next Thursday. So, yeah, it's funny. It's been a real roller coaster, weather-wise here recently. So there we go. All right. So. But yeah, for anyone just rolling in, I am feeling a lot better. Thank you all for your well wishes, prayers, and that. It's been a fun week, but we are actually getting on the upswing of it. My voice is about 80 to 90% back, which is really, really nice.
Did you have the flu, Sean? I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were sick.
Well, I started off with some sort of like we just called it the crud. And then yeah, I avoid the flu, but it was like an upper respiratory infection, I believe is what it is the easiest way to explain it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm
My
all
family
megged
came
up.
down. Well, that's good. Yeah, my family came down with the flu for the Christmas holiday. So I started with it. Well, actually, Mr. Wizard, my husband, Mr. Wizard, started with it just before Thanksgiving. And then I ended up with it just after Thanksgiving, and then my kids ended up with it for Christmas. So it was like we were just sharing all kinds of stuff, you know.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky. I mean, I think Amanda had the flu-like symptoms recently, but she picks up the flu once a year at least, so that's nothing unusual. Lorenzo's had a little bit of a sniffle, but he's been okay. And then Simon, our other exchange student, that boy, I want his immune system. He gets nothing. Like you can, yeah, I'm sure you could throw anything at that kid and he'd be just fine. Like I keep joking, he's the carrier because the carrier of these diseases, pass it on and they're the ones that aren't sick. So we
Yeah.
always blame him. We always blame him for everything. So
That's usually Mr. Wizard. That's why when he actually came down with it, we're like, oh God, this is bad. This is really, really
yeah,
bad. If he's getting it, it's really bad. You know, we're all gonna die. It's just gonna be bad.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so Donnell Stitchery is here with us. It's good, always good to see her as well. Put her channel link in as well. Pastry Queen's Farm Adventures. Good morning, Leanna. It's good to see you as well. And I believe we've got her in under Liana. I have so many commands in my bot that I forget half of them. Let's see if that's no, it might be under Pastry. I try and do everyone's name where I can, but sometimes if it's a unusual name, I try to make it where it's a little easier. Something's got to come up eventually. There we go. So yeah, if you want to check out Liana's channel, she's always a lot of fun. Check out her channel as well. And I also put Donnell's in there as well. I believe Donnell usually goes live either at 10 or 11 a.m. Eastern, depending on the day and what she feels like doing as well. So we've got all that going on. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? I know I did. Ah, Joyce. Good morning, Joyce. It's good to see you. She said, good morning, Sean, Danny, and everyone. It's a cold 23-14 here in central Alabama. It's crazy to see how cold Alabama's getting right now. So
Yeah, and they're another one that they're just not, this is not something that they're built for.
no,
Chicago
not at
weather,
all.
we're just, this is normal for us. This isn't really that big of a deal. We just kind of get, I mean, it's not normal to get, sub-zero temperatures for very long, but it's normal to be this cold. So for us, we're like, "Ah, it's fine. We'll get through it. It's not a big deal." But the southern states to get this cold, they just don't know how to handle it. I heard Nashville got quite a bit of snow and they're just like, shut the state down. It's
Yeah.
just, we don't know what we're doing. Just shut the whole thing down.
Well, yeah, those places have like three snow plows, because you just don't need them. I mean, we haven't had any snow, we haven't had any snow here in our part of Virginia. Um, I couldn't tell you the last time it's been. We may get a dusting once in a while, but we haven't had any significant snowfall here in the last 2 or 3 winters, I think. I'd have to go through and look at my photos. Um,
Yeah.
Actually, we've had it since Finley's been here, the one time, I think. So, well, good morning, Laura Lynn from Mama Pop Quilt Shop. It is always good to see you. If you haven't checked out her channel, you are definitely missing out. And I think it's under Mom. So there you go. Let's put that is as well. Yeah, I'd love to hear how cold it is up there in Nova Scotia. I should know the answer to that, but I don't. I know they've had some fun winter weather. They've had a lot of high winds and everything else. Did you get affected by that wicked winter storm that stretched from Nova Scotia all the way to Florida?
Me?
Yes.
Yes, we did. That was the cold weather that came in. Like, we got, probably over the last week, we've gotten about 8 inches of snow.
Mm. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, I was looking at that weather system and because with my day job, I work with imports coming into Halifax in Nova
Mhm.
Scotia, and they were talking about how they were going to shut the terminal down because they were going to get 100-kilometer-per-hour winds and all that sort of stuff there. And I'm like, is that the same storm system? And I looked it up, and it's like this big thing of storms that were stretching from almost Key West all the way up to the top of Nova Scotia. I was like, that is one crazy storm system. So there
Yeah,
you go.
I think the winds here got about 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, we got that
But then when
same.
when you add the snow to it, it makes it even worse because we can't see anything. So yeah, it got pretty nasty here for a little while.
Yeah, we avoided the snow. We got a bit of rain. They told us we could expect power outages, and there were some power outages, but we got through it pretty well. So can't complain that as well. Good morning, Renee. It is good to see you. Brett 46 says hi to Laura Lynn. Sean from Quilting in the sorry, Rob, we're quilting in the man cave. I'm getting confused with Molly Lasagna, who I haven't seen today yet. Is he says no
I
snow
haven't
here.
seen him in a while.
Moldy's been around. He's been here on the last couple of lives. He's probably sleeping in this morning, but yeah, he's been around, which is really cool because yeah, for a while there he disappeared in the thin air. Like we were getting a little concerned about him.
Well,
Um,
yeah, he had told me that he had moved, and so he's actually not far from me. I think he said Decatur,
yes, I believe so.
which isn't far.
Uh-huh.
for me.
Yeah, and I think he's off on weekends now. Maybe they called him in the work today. I don't know.
Uh,
So, but yeah, he is alive and kicking. So, that's always good.
That's good.
But yeah, as I said, I'm a little surprised not to see him this morning because he has been around the last few lives. So that's why I got him confused. Plus, I'm terrible with names. I've mentioned that a million times, but it's just I say just own it. Like if you tell people you're bad with names, they'll probably tell you, "Hey, I am too." So there you go. Good morning, Naomi. It is good to see you. She says her sister and I are at Road to California Quilt Show having fun. I'm jealous. I'd like to go out there and see that one day. I hear good things about that show. So I'd love to hear your like a review or what your thoughts are on that once you get is this your first time going to that or is that something you've been to a few times? I can't remember. I think you've been before, but I yeah, my memory's horrible. So there you go. I'll be heading down to QuiltCon in about a month, which is going to be really fun in Raleigh. And then we have our Mid-Atlantic Quilt Show here in like up the road in Hampton, Virginia the following week. So I get to go to two quilt shows in 2 weeks.
Nice.
I'm super excited. Yeah, Raleigh's like 3 hours from me, so it's a little bit of a drive, but the Hampton show's like 20 minutes if there's no traffic. So that's even better. Nice thing with that one is I can do my live here and then jump in the car and go to the show. So that'll work out quite nicely. Okay. Um, let's see. Donnell says it's 7 degrees Fahrenheit in Roseville, Michigan. Now with sunshine. It's always better when it's with sunshine, like I've actually had to work outside on top of a rail car, when it's been 4 degrees, but there's no wind and it's sunny and you're sitting on top of a nice dark car. It's actually quite comfortable. Um, but once you get
Yeah, it's
into the
pleasant.
yeah, once you get into the shadows, it's a whole different kettle of fish. Janine says she's so
Mhm.
stoked for. I didn't realize Janine's coming down for QuiltCon. That's really neat. I'm going to see so many people down now. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I know Donna's going from Handmade by Ying, Becca, Ian, Tiffany, like all these superstars are going to be down there. So that'll be a
I
lot of
know
fun.
Katie's going too. Katie from
Yes,
Green Leaf
hey,
Filters
yes,
is coming
she's
in
going.
for it too.
Yeah, yeah, she's really looking forward to that. So I think Beth from
Remind me
Goody
again,
Goods,
where's QuiltCon this year?
Raleigh, North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay.
Yeah, from my house to the convention center, it's about 2 hours, 45 minutes, 3 hours. So I'm going to drive down that Saturday morning, hang out for the whole day, and then turn around and go home.
Mm.
Because I like sleeping in my own bed. I'm a little weird like
Yeah.
that. But
I
I
don't
think if
know.
it's
There's nothing weird about that.
yeah. Plus, I'm sure hotel rates are not cheap, and I don't know.
They're probably all booked now.
Yeah, that's all right. Plus, if I can do something in a day trip, I will. So there you go. All right. Deb says sad to miss QuiltCon. It'll be a lot closer to you next year. It's going to be out in Phoenix, Arizona next year, I believe. So
Ooh.
that'll be a whole lot easier from British Columbia than Raleigh. I will not be going to QuiltCon next year. Um, that's okay.
No, that's a little bit longer of a day trip, I think.
Yeah, there won't be any day trip for that. I was looking at that show in Houston. There's a big show in like November, and I'm very tempted to do it, but it wouldn't work out. But I could actually do that in a day trip too, because there's a non-stop flight that leaves here at like 6 o'clock in the morning, gets down there at 8, and then the return flight leaves at 7. So in theory, I could do a day trip,
Yeah, that one would go over well.
but I think that'd be crazy, and I think I would actually stay overnight. So for
Yeah,
that.
well, especially since you have to be at the airport 2 hours ahead of time. At least a lot of the airports you do. So that would be like you'd have to account for that as well. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and our airport, it's not a huge airport, but the early morning it's pretty much rush hour there. So yeah, you do need to be if you got a 6:30, 6 o'clock flight, you do need to be there by 4:30. I wouldn't get there any later. I remember one time it took Amanda to get on a flight to go to Chicago. It was a day, and something I'll never do again. It was the day after school let out. We got there, I think it was a 6:30 flight. We got there at like 4:30, and I booked a first class for that flight because it was like $20 more than economy. So I was like, it's
Wow.
silly. Well, you could, by the time you put your baggage fee, because she was going to check a bag. And so by the time it
Mhm.
was, all said and done, it was like $20 difference. So I was like, well, why not give her a better, And even though she
Yeah.
had first class ticket, first class check-in, she still struggled to get through that line because that place was a zoo.
Oh,
Um,
I bet.
yeah. So there you go. All right, let's see. Kathleen says, agree with you, Sean. I do not love hotel beds. They're never as comfortable as your own. I'm always ready to return to vacation due to lack of sleep. Yeah, and I'm one of those crazy nuts too that tries to fit in as much as I can in one day. I drive people crazy like that. So, if I go to New York or DC or something, it's like bang, 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 bang. I'm getting the
You
best
end up
bang.
needing a vacation from the vacation, right?
Yeah.
Just to catch up on all your sleep.
Yeah, so there you go. I don't know. I just like to get the most for my money, I guess. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right. Janice says it's 26 degrees here in Durham, way too cold for a Caribbean girl. Yeah, I can imagine that. Well, then you get used to it after a while. The coldest I ever got back in Australia was about 28. That was a cold overnight for me. And yeah, you get used to it, but it's still no fun. Although I have never ever gotten used to a cold Christmas. And I don't think I ever will.
A cold Christmas, really. Well, I
Oh,
mean, probably growing up, that's not something that you experienced.
no, I mean, for us, a cold Christmas was something in the 80s. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So and then I'm the complete opposite. If there's no snow on the ground and it's not cold, it is not Christmas. It
yeah,
does not feel like Christmas.
there was one Christmas here about, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago, and it was like 72 degrees. And yeah, it was still cold to me, but it was actually quite pleasant. And I went back to work the next day, and my boss said to me, he's like, "You must have been happy about that warm Christmas yesterday." I'm like, "Yeah, about 20 degrees too cool, but I'll take what I can get." So, yeah, I'm used to it. Like, think about a day in the middle of July and August, and that's our typical Christmas, like 90,
Right.
9,500 degrees. I mean, there was one Christmas, it was so hot, we had no air conditioning, and I had my Christmas dinner, and I went to this lake for a swim because I
Wow.
was like, I need to cool down because the river was dry, so I couldn't go paddling in that. So there you go. All right, so let's see. Did I miss anything here? Brenda Foley says, good morning, two of my favorites. Well, thank you so much for that. You're one of our favorites too. You're all my favorites. I have hundreds of favorites. So there we go. So what have you been up to on your channel recently, Danny? Have you had anything fun going on? Because I haven't had a chance to duck over there um, as often as I would like. But as
Well,
you said, we all get busy.
with the holidays and stuff, I kind of had a little bit of a sabbatical because I do my live streams on Sunday mornings at 10:30 a.m. Central Time. And both of our holidays this year landed on Sundays. So
Oh yeah,
I actually haven't had a live stream on our Sunday morning live stream. Last week was my first one since before Christmas. So it was a lot of fun. But so we're last week was kind of just a chat. We just kind of got together and kind of chatted about setting our goals for the year and things like that. But we're working on a couple of projects. We're going to be finishing those up here real soon. I've got a t-shirt table runner project that we started. Lord, probably back in August.
yeah.
Um, and so we finished, well, it was two table runners. We finished one just before Christmas because that was a Christmas one. And the second one we have is a zoo theme. It's really cool. So we're going to be finishing up that one here real soon. We've got a Home Sweet Home project, which was a Fat Quarter Shop Liberty box from a couple years ago that we've been working on. And then I've got a couple of other projects that we're going to get started with this year. Mainly my channel is live streams on Sundays. I don't really do a whole lot of pre-recorded videos anymore. I just I have a 9 to 5, which I joke all the time that it's more of a 7 to 6. than a
Yeah.
9 to 5. So I don't have, unfortunately, a lot of time to record videos. So I do the live streams. Plus, I really like the interaction of the live streams myself better anyway. So all of our projects are exclusive live stream projects from start to finish. I mean, we literally start like ironing fabric as the start of the project. So that's why we usually run about 4 projects a month, and I keep rotating them out so then that way we're not doing the same thing every week. So everybody kind of stays entertained, and I get bored really easily with things. So that's why we always have quite a few of them going on at one time. But the month of December, we took the whole month of December and we did a bunch of little projects. So if there's some videos on my channel for, we made some scrunchies for Christmas gifts. We made some pencil cases. We made some Christmas tree ornaments. I've still got one up here. Christmas tree ornaments out of some extra fabric. So we made a bunch of stuff like that. So we try and do our long-term projects at least 3 weeks out of the month. And then for the 4th week, I like to try and kind of change it up and do something. Sometimes it's just working on whips or UFOs. Other times it's working on smaller projects and things like that. But
Yeah,
I'm
you
always
always have.
looking for new ideas on things. So I'm always kind of challenging my community saying, send me your new ideas. Let's try new things. And if you want to try something, let me know what that is and we can try it together. But the PMQ is coming up too. So we're going to be starting that here in February. And my mom's going to be joining me for that. That's actually, we have, so I do
Yeah, I
my
was going to
Sunday
ask
morning
you
live
about that.
streams. Thanks. And we do my Sunday morning live streams, and then at least once a month, I'm hoping to try and do it twice a month here moving forward. We do what we call the After Dark edition, which is basically a Saturday evening stream. It's a little more relaxed. There's not always a project in mind. Sometimes we're just kind of messing around with stuff. But this year we're going to be doing the PMQ on an After Dark edition with my mom, because my mom, she's a sewer. She does apparel sewing mostly, but so she's never done quilting, but she wants to join the PMQ because she said it looks really fun and she loves the quilts that we've made with it so far. So she's going to join me. So someone who's never done a cotton cuts project before, has never done a quilting project before. So it's going to be interesting to see just how easy or challenging it is for somebody coming into the hobby to be able to pick up on a cotton cuts project. So that'll be a lot of fun. But
Yeah,
that actually starts next weekend. Her and I are going to be prepping for that. So that'll be a lot of fun.
yeah, because you're doing the Tree of Life, correct?
I am doing the Tree of
Yes.
Life, and I keep teasing my community. I haven't told them which colorway I've selected. I just told them, I gave them 3 options. I said, because my aunt is also doing it with us, but she doesn't want to be on camera. So I've told my community, okay, these are the 3 colorways that myself, my mom, and my aunt have picked, and you guys have to guess as to which one I'm going to be doing. And I'll reveal that. I don't know that I'll reveal that next weekend. I think it'll be the first clue before I reveal which one I'm doing. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I like to
It's
tease my community a lot. I think that makes them crazy a little bit, but it's a lot of fun too.
yeah, and I can't keep a secret. So I mean, I've already revealed which one I'm doing. Um, I've already seen the fabric, but I'm not allowed to show it yet. It looks really, really fun. Like I'm really looking forward to starting that project. And it actually starts. They ship out 2 weeks from yesterday, which will be Friday, February 2nd. And I thought it was very, very kind and sweet of Cotton Cuts to launch this on my birthday. Like what a wonderful gift.
Aw, aw.
I mean, they didn't do it. They didn't do it for that. I mean, it was like the first Friday in February. It just happens to be, that. But that's how I
Right,
remember when it's launching. So, um,
right. Makes
yeah,
it easy to remember, right?
it does. It really does make it really, really easy. So there you go. We had a few people more pop in. We have Heather from the Debt Free Quilter. She says, "Hey, hey," and that's like her catch line. I believe we have her channel link here. If not, we'll get it posted in real quick. My friend Jamie from the Quilting Compound is here as well. I think it's Jamie. Chloe says you are so fun, and I totally agree. I love having Dani on. We need to have her
Aw. Hi,
more often.
Chloe.
And see, all the cool kids have arrived. April from April Sawtell is here as well, and I've put her channel link in as well. And if you have a channel and I have missed it, just let me know. Tag me real quick, and I think I put Janice's in. Well, we'll throw it back in again. Why not do it twice? Um, no harm in that, right? So there we go. Debbie
Mhm.
Dunn says, good morning, everybody. And did I miss anybody else? Because I get distracted. Nancy, look, Nancy is here with us. She says -8 there today. She's up in Wisconsin. So yeah. And okay, Janice is my spirit animal. She says a cold Christmas for her in Jamaica, where she used to live, is maybe 60 to 70 degrees. So yeah, there you
Oh
go.
boy.
Yeah, Laurie Colgan is here. Good morning. Teresa West is here with us as well. Good morning to you as well. And I think I caught up with everybody, but I make no promises. So there we go. All right. So I am making some progress, I promise. Okay. Turn him around. We've already brought out Jack once. So for anyone that popped in late, I am working on the Hunter Star, and this is just one of the blocks that I've done like eons ago. I've been working on this project for a while, and originally I was going to make this 8 blocks, but I'm actually going to make it 6. Um, and you'll see more progress on that. This is actually like block 8 of 6. I'm going to like do something else with these blocks. But I'd already cut out the fabric and all that sort of stuff there before I decided to do 6. So figured why waste it? Let's just have some fun with it. And that sort of thing there. So let's see, what have I been up to? I have not done a whole lot this week because I've had no voice. It's finally decided to come back, which is really, really kind of it. That's why I didn't post about this live until yesterday, because I was really unsure if I was going to be able to do it or not. So I am doing I actually did take over the Cotton Cuts social media page this weekend. So you'll be seeing me a little bit there. My voice wasn't 100% there, but I did the best I could. So if I seem a little croaky there, bear with me. So there we go. Oh, that's really fun. Brenda says she got to meet up with Jamie at the quilting compound at a local quilt shop, Busy Lady in Mount Washington. Oh, that's really neat. I'd love to meet up with Jamie sometime. She's just a lot of fun. Need to have her back on the channel again at some point as well. So, like I was telling Dani earlier, like I think in order for me to get all my buddies on a regular basis, I need to have like 4 lives a week. So um
Right.
but I'm like you, I have a full-time job and a family and that sort of thing there. So I think one live a week is about as much as I can do for most weeks. But yeah, I'm looking forward to your after dark thing because your mom is a hoot. I've seen her with you a couple of times, and especially if you give that lady a cup or two of wine. I mean, yeah, she is a hoot. So if you're looking for a
Yeah, yeah. If you're looking for some really fun entertainment, yeah, you got to check her out. She really is a hoot. But she's a lot of fun, and I think she's even a little bit more silly than than she normally would be in front of the camera. But
yeah,
yeah, she's a lot of fun.
yeah, just don't fill your mouth with too much water or something because you might be, spraying it out with laughter if you're not careful. So,
Ugh,
um,
yeah, you gotta be careful with her. And like I said, she's gonna be joining us from her sewing room. So Laura, so she doesn't have to worry about driving home. So who
yeah,
knows how much wine she's gonna end up with
no,
that first day. I told her, I said, take it slow. You're gonna be working on the machine. Be careful. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And her friend Cheryl, who's also been on my channel as well, is going to be joining her over on her side. So it's going to be a lot of it's I'm both nervous and excited at the same time because I'm just not sure how it's going to work out. We'll have
uh,
to wait and see.
yeah, no, you'll do just
I,
fine. I've watched a few of those and they're always a lot of fun. So,
they are.
yeah, I think you guys will do fine. But yeah, I feel the Puzzle Mystery Quilt is one of those beginner friendly things as well. Because the nice thing is it's all pre-cut. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and all you have to do is sew it together, and the instructions are pretty easy. And as long as you follow your swatch card, you'll do just fine. So
Yep.
Ah,
Yeah, so I think it'll be a lot of fun for because I have a handful of community members on my channel that are joining the PMQ for the first time for the Tree of Life. So it'll be really helpful for them to kind of follow along with my mom's journey as well. So that'll be a lot of fun for them. And I like the idea of being able to do it on a live stream as well. So then that way my community members can do it the pieces with us, and if they have any questions, they can just pop right in chat and ask, and we can try and explain them right then and there. And who
yeah,
knows, we might end up as the project progresses, we might end up inviting some of my community members into our Zoom call, to join in and ask questions. So we'll have to see
for
how
sh-
things go. It's a little bit
yeah,
of a new concept for my channel. So I'm kind of excited to see how it works out, and trying to keep my mom on task should
yeah.
be a challenge in itself.
That sounds great. Just want to say a special hi to Shelley Island. She's saying good evening, dropping in for a quick hello. That's my sister. Um, and it's special to me because A, she's hanging out with me for a little bit. She also is a quilter on occasion, but it's also almost 1 a.m. where she is. So yeah, good evening, Shelley. It's good to see you. She's probably been up feeding my niece. But it's always good to see my sister. She pops in from time to time as well. So but yeah, I think that
It's
should be
always
a
nice when family pops into the chat. I always love it when my sister has been joining my chat recently, and I always love it when my sister or my kids are. It's always nice. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, my community, all my members of my community are a part of my family as far as I'm concerned. But
yeah,
it's always nice to see your relatives pop in too, because it's like, oh, okay, it makes for fun conversations.
oh for sure. Yeah. Usually most of my family's asleep. It's one of the reasons I get on
True.
live at 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday because everyone likes to sleep in. So I can
Hmm.
come out and hang out with all my quilty friends for a little while and not disturb anybody else or that sort of thing there as well. So it kind of works out nice, but it's always nice to see my sister as well. So let's see. We'll talk about AccuQuilt. I have not purchased an. I've heard good things about them, but I haven't purchased it mainly for the fact that with the projects that I do, the Art East and the Elizabeth Hartman patterns, they have so many different size blocks, like 1 1/4 by 1 1/2, 1 by 2. I'd need to buy like every single die that they had for it to be worth it to me. So there you go.
Yeah, I can see where the AccuQuilt would be helpful if you're like constantly doing like 2.5 inch strips
Yeah,
or stuff like that. I can see where that might be helpful, but like yeah, like you said, unless you have all of the different die cuts, and eventually you get to a point where you build up your stash just like anything else, and you get them eventually. But until
yeah,
that point, I don't feel like it. I'm kind of with you. I don't know that it's really um
yeah.
it's really going to be helpful.
Yeah, and that's kind of where because I've sat there and thought about it. Like, do I go out and invest in it? Like, if it's going to be something that's going to give me a good return, then, yes, I'd save my pennies up and I'd buy it. But yeah, it's just with what I work with, I just don't see it at this point. I'm still waiting for someone to come out with a printer that I don't know cuts by laser or something where you just input I want this many of this size and this and this and this and then you just hit print and then it just cuts it out for you. Um,
There you
I know
go.
how to do it. I know how to do it in theory, but I am not a manufacturer or anything else like that. So I'm just waiting for someone to come out with that. So and then for the price to come down because I'm frugal of like that. So there we go. All right. So everyone's saying hello to Shelley. So that's really nice of you. So um, oh yeah, let me put the patent link in as well. If you are interested in the patent that I'm using, it is called the Simplified Hunter Star. I bought this at a quilt shop up in Farmville, Virginia, back in actually, I think I was with Shelley when I bought this pattern in 2018. And it's a really nice pattern. It tells you how to do things in different sizes. And it also says there's no Y seams. It goes together really, really quickly. Basically, for this, you cut out two different size squares, and then you sew half square triangles. You cut it, and then you just assemble it. Um, And then away go. Oh, okay. Chloe says, I think the brother scan and cut does some of that. Okay, I might have to look into that. So um, there you go. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun. This is actually the second time I've made this quilt. The first time, because when I saw the pattern, they had a display of the quilt in the store, and this was like the cutest little quilt shop because it's like in an old, I don't know if it was like an old barn or an old country farmhouse. I don't know which it is. It's just like on the side of the road, like 10 miles out of Farmville.
Oh,
And
I love those.
oh, it was fun because like you walk around the corner and you're like, what's here? Like it was like a little expedition. So but they had this quilt, the Hunter Star, this pattern I'm doing right now, hanging up in all different colors, kind of like what I'm doing with this. And I was like, I really, really want to do that. And then about 6 months later, my manager at work said, okay, I'm retiring in September. And we thought, yeah, as a group, why not? Let's make her a quilt. And but she loved purple, absolutely loved purple. Everything of hers was purple. And so I made this in all purples. And gave it to her. Beautiful quilt. She loves it. She still tells me to this day that's her favorite quilt. But
Oh, wow.
I've always wanted to make it in the multicolors like I saw in the store. So one of my subscribers sent me a bunch of this Alison Glass fabric about 18 months ago and said make something fun with it. You know, she said she bought it for a project she did. It wasn't for her, so she sent it out to me. And I looked at this and I was like, this would be perfect for the Hunter Star, and that's what I've been using. I've been doing it slowly. You know, I work on it for a week or two, and then I get distracted by something shiny and work on to something else. So, but we are actually getting very, very close to the finish line because that's one of my goals in 2024 is to actually finish piecing and
Mm.
quilting because my pile of flimsies, as Fallon calls them, is getting quite large. Okay, the silhouette cutter also does that. Okay, all right. So someone has come up with this idea. Okay, so I guess I'll have to start saving my pennies and buying some of these cool tools. So there you go. Oh, thank you for that, Shelley. She says he really is. I am so proud of him. I love watching his YouTube. I hope to be as good as him one day. Well, thank you so much for that, Shelley.
Oh,
Yeah, she sends me photos sometimes, my niece and nephew, who are one and well, my nephew is 3 and my niece is 1. I'm not sure if Penny watches the podcast as much, but Little Boston watches it quite regularly, and that's like my screensaver on my phone, is him watching my podcast. So I think it's really neat that he watches that and he actually gets to see me, even though I'm on the other side of the planet. So
yeah.
but I've had a ball doing this, you know. And if I ever stop having fun, I'm quitting. So there you
Right.
go.
That's my
Um,
rule. I tell my channel all the time. I said, if you don't see me ever again, it's simply because I stopped having fun.
I think I'll come on one last time and say, hey, look, y'all, you know, this was fun. We had a great ride, but it's time for me to leave. You know, hopefully that will never happen.
I'm
Um,
hoping that never happens myself. Yeah.
but I think if you just had fun with it, then you know, you should be good.
Hmm.
Debbie says she pieces way faster than she quilts. Oh, me too. I've let's talk about that for a second. What is your favorite part of the quilting process, and what is your least favorite? I'd love to hear your um, answer in the chat if you're watching live. If you're watching the replay, definitely drop that in your comment. And Danny, what is your favorite part of the quilting process?
You're gonna laugh, Sean, because I think it's your least favorite part. But my favorite part is actually at the very, very beginning of starting a quilt. It's opening up all the pre-cut fabric pieces and ironing them up and starching them nice and flat, and then cutting them up into the little pieces. That's actually my very favorite part because it's like you're building up the suspense of what everything's gonna be. It's a lot of fun. I love the piecing part too. The piecing part is fun, but I get really excited when I'm unfolding all that fabric and ironing out all the creases and cutting it up into the little pieces. That's probably my absolute favorite.
And it's interesting you say that because it's not my least favorite. Um, and I'll get to mine
Well,
in
I
a
know
minute.
you've mentioned before that you hate the ironing.
Oh, actually, I've kind of gotten okay with that. I'm used to it now. I was never a fan of ironing, but block one of the Wizard of Oz killed me. It might have been block two. It might have been I think it was the Scarecrow. That thing absolutely killed me without ironing, and that was the day that I realized that I needed to take after my mother's inspiration. That woman loved to iron everything. I mean, she would iron socks, underwear, the whole nine yards. That woman was born to iron. Like, if she was still alive and lived here in the US, I would have said, okay, come over here and do all my ironing for me, for quilting, and she would have come over and done it happily.
There you go.
But I don't mind the cutting and that sort of thing there, because it's the same thing. Like, you get to start something fun and new. Um, my least favorite part, and I'm actually getting better at this as well, is the basting. I hated that part. I love to piece the stuff and then it's sit in a pile, because I will not get down on the floor anymore. Like, I'm not rolling around on the floor on my hands and knees, especially now that we have laminate flooring throughout. It was bad enough with carpet. It'd be even worse with whatever it's called, laminate. So what I did this summer is I went out and bought a 6 foot folding table,
There you go.
and I set it up in the living room. And when I want to baste a quilt, I just lay it out there. Becca gave me some clips to like clip it all down, and it makes the absolute world of difference. Like, it's so much easier to baste when you have a nice big table and you can get either the whole width of the quilt or very, very close to it. I know some
Right.
people. I know some people have the luxury, I guess you could call it a luxury, or the ability to use, like, base it on a long arm of theirs or a friend's or something else like that. But that's kind of been, yeah, that's real. The 6 foot table's been an absolute game changer to me. I've gotten a lot more based. Once I get it basted, the quilting part I get done. I can get that done fairly quickly. I'm not that concerned about it. It was always that one step in the middle that kind of stopped me in my tracks, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I have not gotten to a point where I'm comfortable enough doing any of the quilting on my full size projects on my homemade machine, or not homemade, my home machine. Usually I send out my full size to a long arm to do the quilting, but I will do quilting for like my smaller projects, my table runner stuff. I'll do that. But trying to wrestle those big quilts in my small space that I have here just does not work for me. So I end up sending those off.
Right.
Couple times a year. I send her a bunch of them at one time. Um, but yeah, I can understand how the basting could be challenging. I don't baste mine. I mean, again, but I work with small projects. I don't work with large projects. I don't baste mine. I just use the safety pins. That's my method.
Well, that's what I'm calling based. I mean, I guess I'm calling it the wrong term then, which I do all the time. Yeah, I safety pin all my stuff. I tried the spray basting once, and it wasn't for me. So I'm happy at the pin based, the pinning or whatever, call.
Sandwiching.
Yeah, I really thought it was based. I don't know. I mean, I get stuff wrong all the time. So, but that's okay. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with the setup that I have now, where I can just put it on the table and go to town. I'm going to have fun with one quilt that I'm going to have to do soon, which is it's basically a queen size t-shirt quilt. That's going to be interesting to try and pin that one, but we'll see what happens. So, okay, let's see. I know I have been missing stuff. Okay, let's see. Shelley says, haha, mum ironing handkerchiefs and underwear. Yes, that memory will never go away. Yeah, as I said, that woman was born to iron. As I said, yeah, if she was still around, Shelley would never have to worry about ironing a thing like for her quilting, because she'd be over there ironing everything for us. So yeah,
Well, my
great,
mom
great.
had to do a bunch of ironing when I was a kid too, but it wasn't because she wanted to. It was part of a requirement for her work uniforms. So
Oh, okay. Here we go. Sylvia says her least favorite is Jack.
I saw that. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Pat Strawhouse says her favorite is designing quilt and squaring units and blocks. Least favorite adding sashing. Okay, I don't mind sashing. I've kind of gotten that down pretty well. The judges at the quilt shows don't like my sashing, but I just don't put quilts or sashing in the quilt shows anymore. So um, Judy says gathering the fabric is a favorite part. The least favorite part is the binding. A lot of people say they don't like the binding. Like I hear that
Yeah,
all the time. I don't
all
mind
the
the
time.
binding.
I don't
Um,
either.
because it's the finish line, and I guess I've found a method that works for me, and what works for me
Mhm.
may not work for you. But
Right.
I think once you find, and I could be wrong on this, um, if you find a method that works for you, you'll like it a lot more. Laura says she doesn't like the cutting, and I hear that a lot as well. That's why cotton cuts is great, because it
Mhm.
just comes and you just unpack it. So, if you don't like
Yep.
cutting, I recommend against Art East or Elizabeth Hartman, which is the ones I like to do because there's a lot of cutting. I take my time with my cutting with that, like because some of these things have 100 and some pieces for a block, and I just kind of put a movie on or a YouTube or whatever, and just take my time. Like I don't rush it. Um, as well, choosing the colors. Laurie says choosing the colors and not so fun as binding. Yes, apparently people don't. Um, yeah, binding is not the thing. Okay. Nancy says now you all don't even think about it with Michelle. Yeah, we're not talking about us quitting. We're just saying that if we ever
No.
like lost interest and it didn't become fun, then we wouldn't come on anymore. But I don't think that you don't have to worry about that. I don't think it's likely to happen as well. So
No,
let's
no. I have too many projects going.
I know, right? And I like bringing you all along for the journey. Like I make what I like, and you all just get to come along for the journey. Donnell says her least favorite is quilting it. Nancy doesn't like the cutting. Sylvia, I like this one. She says, I like the process seeing it grow from fabric to quilt. I love that. I think that's a wonderful thing. Naomi says least favorite any math. I don't mind the math, but then again, I'm good with spatial stuff and I'm decent with math. Although if you give me algebra, good luck. I got kicked out of my algebra class a week and a half in. They sent me to pre-algebra. I was like, thank God. So there you go. All right. So Leanna says her least favorite is quilting it. She has a long arm as it's a necessity because she has so many tops. Okay. I consider it. Okay, Leslie, I'm with you on this one. She says, I consider a project complete when the top is done. I have tons of what I call completed quilt. Yeah, I have two versions of done. When the quilt top's done and when the quilt is done. You'll see that on my channel all the time. I'll say, look, I've got a completed object. Here's a quilt top. And you'll see it 6, 12 months later, 2 years, 6 years, whatever, when it's finally quilted. So yeah, I'm definitely with Leslie on that one there. Andrea says, howdy, all my quality friends. I've been here for a while, but for some reason, YouTube unsubscribed me and I had to wait to chat. Yeah, they did that recently. It seems like I woke up one morning. I don't know if this happened to you, Danny, but I woke up one morning and I was missing 40 subscribers. Um,
I wasn't missing 40. I was missing about 10. But yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago or something. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So definitely go if you're missing. I would tell everybody this might be a good public service announcement for you now. Go check and make sure you're subscribed to all of your favorites because yeah, I don't know if there was a system issue or what happened, but I've heard that from a number of people that they haven't seen my updates or anything else. I did have a couple of people ask me last Sunday, hey, I missed your podcast. Where was it? There wasn't one because I had no voice. But yeah, just check that. This is obviously you found me today, but yeah, go check out all your other favorites, including my friend Amy, who just popped in apparently. Amy Dement, she has a wonderful channel. She is so much fun. If you haven't checked out her channel, you are missing out. You need to go check. Okay, so Jamie says she lost a few. Someone else lost about 10. So yeah, it's happened way too much recently. I think it was like a overall thing. It's not just because I was like, I know I didn't upset 40 people overnight. Like I know people
Yeah.
come and I know people come and people go, people's tastes change. And if I'm not your cup of tea, yeah, I really do hope you find what you're looking for. But to lose that many overnight was really, really weird. I mean, sometimes I lose, mine might go down, 2, 3, 4, 5. in a
Mhm.
day. So I don't
You
know.
know, same thing with my channel. I mean, I'm not for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I love every view, every subscriber I get, but yeah, I want you to be here because you want to be. So, um,
Hmm.
and you're always welcome back. If you disappear for 12 months and come back, we'll welcome you with open arms, of course. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, Amy had the same thing as well. So, all right. So, yeah, but definitely check out all your subscriptions, just to make sure they're still valid because yeah, I'm thinking they had some sort of glitch or something like that because there's
Yeah, I've seen
people,
that happen on YouTube before with some of I have a lot of gamer friends on YouTube, and I've
yeah,
seen that happen with them before where they've just lost a bunch of subscribers and it was just a matter of it turned out to be some type of a glitch or because YouTube will sometimes they'll go through and they'll deactivate unused accounts or things, and so
yes,
sometimes that they grab some other ones on top of it or things like that. So I'm sure that it was some type of glitch on YouTube's part, I'm sure.
yeah. No, I haven't signed these yet. Okay, all right. Okay, Rachel says I've been unsubscribed. I just looked at resubscribe. Okay, perfect. Yes. Um, yeah, and unfortunately, we have no control over that. But yeah, it's good to go through every so. I would suggest to everybody just like every so often, just go through and check, especially if you haven't seen your favorite in a while. And then that way, once you do that, if you're not sure, just hit unsubscribe and then resubscribe. That will usually kick it back into action as well. So
Yep. And then there's also the notifications button as well. Sometimes that deactivates for whatever reason. There's that little bell in the corner that'll give you notifications for when your YouTuber is posting new videos or when they go live and things like that. Sometimes that becomes deactivated as well. So if you
yeah,
didn't get a notification, check that also. I've had that happen to me countless times where it just
yeah,
for whatever reason it turns off. So I have to go back and turn it back on.
right. All right, Judy Herbert asks here, I wonder if they fall off if the subscriber hasn't watched in a while. I've I don't know for sure, but I believe the answer to that is yes. I think if you haven't watched a creator in a while, you probably fall off their subscriber count. You may still show a subscribe to that person, but I truly do believe that the content creator's count will drop after a while. I know that YouTube does go through once in a while and check for like spoof accounts and spammers and bots and that sort of thing there, because there's a lot of those out there that goes through trying to spam um, different accounts. I mean, I don't know if you get it, Danny, but I used to get spam accounts once in a while. And it was weird because they were trying to spam like try and promote like young ladies. And I was like, you're in the wrong area here, person, because most of my subscribers are, ladies in their, 50s, 60s, 70s, that sort of thing there. You're not,
Mhm.
you need to go somewhere else where you might actually get a hit. Like you're not going to get too much from here. So, but they've
I
kind
haven't
of,
seen so many spam accounts, but I did have to turn the subscribers on the subscriber requirement onto my comments for my videos because a lot of the live streams I would get the spam that way, so we
yeah,
had to turn that on, and that seems to have basically fixed the majority of the problems that we were having there.
yeah. I've been lucky with the during the lives. I don't know that I've ever had any spams. But I think part of that too might be that the spammers are still asleep at 8 o'clock in the morning. So, there's a lot of
Would be
positives to starting early. So there you go. Um,
could be.
let's see. Oh, Laurie's asking, am I located in Virginia? Yes. I am in the Hampton Roads area down in the southeast part of the state, down by Norfolk, Virginia Beach area. What part of she said she's from Virginia too. What part of Virginia are you in? I'd love to know. Um, let's see. I seen you and I was sitting here watching. I had no clue. Now I have to figure out what's yeah. So yeah, that's your homework for today for everyone. Go check to make sure you're still subscribed to all your favorites. We'd hate for you to miss out on all the quality goodness as well. Um, Speaking of quality goodness and that sort of thing there, if you are not signed up for Instagram, you need to go do that today. Um, I mentioned this earlier. I am taking over the Cotton Cuts social media platforms, their YouTube, their Instagram, and whatever else they have. I sent all the stuff to you, Cotton Cuts to them. They're posting it for me, but I'm basically taking over. And part of that is we are doing a giveaway through
Ooh.
Instagram where you can win a mystery bundle of fabric. And so, in order to win that, you have to go over to Instagram. And I love Instagram as a platform because there's so many wonderful quilty content creators that you don't necessarily see on YouTube that have some wonderful inspiration. I mean, I like going through there and just scrolling and seeing all the different quilts that these people have made as well. But if you go over there, once it goes, I don't know that the giveaway's gone live yet, but I'd imagine it will go live sometime today. They didn't give me a schedule. Um, but once you get over there, you'll see the giveaway, and then you'll just need to follow me on Instagram, which is the guy who sews, and then follow it Cotton Cuts, which is cotton_cuts. And then tag a friend, and you'll be entered in to win this mystery bundle. More details about that, like the entry period and that sort of thing, there will be posted along with it. But yeah, just keep an eye out for that. So yeah, if you're not part of Instagram yet, I recommend it as a platform. I do like going over it and scrolling around and seeing all the quilty goodness. But it's a good weekend to do it because you may win a fun prize from Cotton Cuts as well. Okay, Pat Corona says, hello, first time here. Naomi suggested to subscribe to your channel, enjoying a chat. Well, welcome, Pat. It's always good to see you. And Naomi, she's a wonderful lady. I always love
I
chatting and
love
interacting.
Naomi.
Yeah, she's always a lot of fun. She's usually here in the chat, usually really
She
early
was
as
here
well.
earlier. Yeah. Yeah, she
She's
was here
usually like one
earlier,
of
I
the
saw
first
her.
people here. Like she's my early bird. I love interacting with her like that as well. Good morning, Stephanie. It's good to see you. If you haven't seen Stephanie's channel, you need to do that. And what do I have her under? Is it Sassy? I have two Stephanies, so hang on.
Mm.
Not have her. Is it on the memoirs? Hang on, I'm looking. Oh, that's fallen off. Okay, all right, we're gonna fix this. Okay, bear with me a second. We are making some progress. All right. Think we will put it under Sassy. Why not? Because that's what everyone knows her as. Okay, so that's
Mhm.
been fixed. Put her channel link in as well. So hopefully it works. We'll see in a minute. Okay. All right. So, and as you see, you can always see I'm distracted every minute of every day. Okay. So, central part of the forum. She's talking to Amy. Okay, Pat says, "Wow, Sean, that's amazing. I'm checking out True, easy to get drawn in the rabbit hole." Vince, I said, I really do recommend it. I know some people aren't part of it, but I think you should be. Um, this is
I need to get better at it.
I
I
need to
do have
post there
a
more.
I do, yeah, I do need to post more. I do have a
Oh, me
page. I
too.
do try to post on it when I can, but I need to get better at it.
Yeah. All right. So Sheila's here from Yorktown. She says I'm not an early bird. Yorktown's like 45 minutes up the street from me.
Oh, there's
One of
moldy
these.
lasagna.
Yeah, I know. I was just talking about you. We talked about you earlier, Sean. Um, he says, "Good morning, everybody. I started watching the live stream at 5 Central and fell asleep. We weren't on at 5 Central. Oh, waiting for this. Okay, let's just say like I was still in bed at 5 Central. So um, there you go. All right. Okay, link for Sassy is good. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's see. I am missing stuff and I know this. Okay, so apparently Ian's live today instead of tomorrow. So he's always a lot of fun. Let's talk about who's live today then. Donnell will be live a little later on. I think she said it was either 10 or 11. I can't remember now. Um, Laura Lynn from Mama Pop Shop will be live at 1, I believe, this afternoon, unless she's changed things up. And then Ian will be live. Don't ignore what the bot says. Apparently, he's live today, not tomorrow. So we'll have all sorts of fun goodness as well. Okay, Debbie says I'm going to grab a fresh cup of coffee and move to the sewing room. I need to put a lap quilt on the long arm and get it quilted, so I'll be listening. Yeah, who else has trouble focusing on their sewing when they're listening to a live? I know I am very, very guilty of that. I sometimes have to turn it off or just leave it running in the background if I need to concentrate on anything. So there we go. All right, Pat says, oh, Naomi's her baby sister, and she's the one that got me started with quilting. So far, completed 3 small quilts. Oh, that is so neat. I love to hear that. So that is excellent. Okay, we're not sure what time. Okay, so we're not sure what time Ian's going live, but just check his channel. I put his link in the descript in the chat, and you'll be able to see what time. I think he usually goes live at 2 p.m. Eastern on Sundays, so maybe he's going the same time, just a day early. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, yeah, he was on Becca's live last night. They were a lot of fun too. Um, all right, let's see. I do, and then I always have a date with Jack here. You and me both. How far did we get into today's live before Jack came out? Was it 10 minutes?
About
And
10 minutes. Yeah, about 10 minutes.
yeah, the first date was like introductions too. So like, yeah, he was out. It was the first thing I sewed. I was supposed to sew a 1/4 inch from the line I drew, and I sewed right down the line. So yeah, we didn't even make it through the first block before we had to pull out my very, very bestest friends. So, but it is what it is. Okay. Okay, so apparently he's live. He's going to be live from a quilt shop some point today. Okay, yeah. So go over to Ian's channel, find out what he's doing, and yeah, you'll be good. Okay. All right, Chloe finished a mini quilt this past week. Now she needs to post pics. Yes, you do. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And if you do have pictures of stuff you're working on, I would love to see it. You can join my Discord group and post there. I also have a Facebook group that I don't advertise a whole lot, but you can also post pictures there. Okay, so 2 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, he'll be at Boxcar Quilts. Okay, so yeah, you've got all sorts of quilty goodness to play with today. That'll be a lot of fun. All right, so
I think my Facebook group is probably one of my favorite parts about my community. I mean, obviously, I love the YouTube platform, but the Facebook group allows me to see what everybody else is working on and really talk to people and interact that way. So that's probably one of my favorite parts about my channel is our Facebook group because I get to see what everybody's working on.
oh, for sure, I'm the same way. Like you all get to see what I get up to each week, but yeah, I always like to see because I get inspiration from what from my viewers as well, like what they're working on.
Mm-hmm.
Always I got East was from one of my viewers, Christine, who was running around here earlier. I'm not sure she's still here. She was the one that said, "Hey, Sean, you need to go check out this Mythical Dark Sense pattern." And yeah, so she's the reason I got that obsession. So um, I appreciate it. I thank you, Christine, for that. Um, I still need to quilt that, and it's actually on my list to get quilted fairly soon, which is nice. So there we go. All right. So Molly says I always struggle with getting myself to spend enough time in my quilt room. So listening to the lives motivates me to get in there. So of y'all, and I hear that a lot. Like I think it's neat that even if you just have us like on the replay, you run the background. You hear all the time that people. It's like they have someone in there sewing with them. I think that's really neat. I never thought about that when I started this, but it's really neat. And you know, talking about inspiration from the viewers, they're the reason I do lives because when I started this, I had no intention of doing lives, but so many people inspired me to do it that, and now I really enjoy it. So, all
Oh,
right,
I
so
was I when I started the channel, my intention was always to try to do live streams, but I thought I had to have a whole lot more followers before I could. So when I figured out that you only needed like 50 to 100 followers to start the live stream, I was ecstatic. I'm like, oh my gosh, now I can actually do what I wanted to do with this. Because there are times where videos are a necessity, but I much prefer the live stream platform. Being able to interact with the people in the chat and interact with people on Zoom calls and things like that. I
Yeah.
much prefer it.
And I think our audiences love the live, prefer the lives because I mean, you see, there's a lot of good channels out there that do nothing but lives.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah,
very,
that's
very,
basically the way my channel has gone. It was a mixture of pre-recorded videos and live streams. But I kind of went away from the pre-recorded videos because it just became too much for me.
yeah,
There just wasn't enough time to get it all done. So I went full live exclusive. Last year was the first year I did it full time. Not full
yeah,
time, but you know what I mean.
yeah, basically exclusively that. And it's been,
Yeah.
I know a few people have gone that way. They started off doing like a podcast or pre-recorded and gone, just to lives as well. So,
Mhm.
and the viewers seem to enjoy it. So, go with it. So, all right. So Donnell is live at 10. So once we're finished here, which will be in a few minutes, you can go grab your coffee, go grab something to eat if you haven't done so already, and then go over and hang out with Donnell for a little bit. So Amy says she enjoys watching the lives, but she needs the edit feature. Yeah, we're all different. Amy does a wonderful job with her pre-records. Yeah, she does. If you need lessons on how to do it well, you can't go wrong with Amy. She'll point you in the right direction. Mine's a healthy mix. Balance that she does a couple of editing, although she does a great job of her lives as well. She's normally live on Thursday. Is it Thursday or Wednesday? At 8 Eastern. One of those days. I know the time, I just don't remember the day. I think it's Wednesday. Yeah, almost certain it's Wednesday. All right. All right. Andrea says, I love the early lives because my hearing aids died during the later ones. And if captions are not available, I miss out. That's something that I think someone was talking about on Katie's thing the other day. I've got to figure out how to put those on my captions. Hang on. English, so don't speak any other language. All right. Let's see what happens there. Okay. Yeah, I keep forgetting to do that because I know, I've heard that from a couple of people where they liked having the captions. So that way, if they have hearing aids and that sort of thing, then they can still hear. And I'm glad someone brought that up. So, all right. Leanna says it's been great, but I have to go. Have a great week. Well, thank you for hanging out with us a little bit. So, yeah, if someone can remind me for the next few weeks until I get used to turning the captions on, that would be great because I would be more than happy to do that for everybody. That way, if you need it, you can. I think you can turn it on with YouTube, but I'm not sure if you can do it during a live or not. So here we are. Judy says she loves watching live. She loves it when So Be It Quilts and her husband are on. Yeah, they're always a lot of fun together. I'll see you later, Amanda.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, Amanda has to duck out for a little bit. All right. All right, let me grab Benny. Benny, come say hi to the viewers real quick. All right, good morning, Dawn. It's good to see you. She says she slept in. That's never a bad thing. Come here. Bear with me a second.
Go get Daddy. Get him.
All right.
There she goes.
All right, so wrong one. I've got to get close enough so she can see. All right, there's Miss Finley. Bye-bye.
Gotta love dogs.
Yeah, so this is Miss Finley. You see her all the time. And she is our youngest of the two. She is a Beagle Dachshund mix. And What, you turn 3 in a couple of weeks, don't you? Yes, 3.
It'll be 3.
Yes, old dog.
3.
Yes, very old dog. That's good. All right. You're welcome.
I'll be back later.
Okay.
Bye, Penny.
All right. So everyone's saying hi to Finley. Okay. Jean says she's seeing the captions now. Ian and Katie had a discussion about that last night and I thanked them. Okay, perfect. Yeah, just from I will get used to putting I've just got to turn it on in Zoom. Eventually I'll remember, like, it'll be part of my process. You know, when I connect to YouTube, I'll just remember to turn the captions on. But I might need someone to remind me at the beginning of the live, hey Sean, can you turn the captions on? So do that for, we'll get used to it, but just for a little while. We'll just need to do it as well. So I'm glad someone brought that up, because I told myself the other day, turn the captions on, and then, squirrel moment, I got distracted as well there as well. So Donnell, I will show you that in a little bit. Basically, you just go into your Zoom and you'll see it there under, if you click on more, you'll see the different options, and it'll about halfway down, it says captions, and then you can just turn it on. So it's really, really easy. And it's going to be very helpful for our community here as well. That's if you're using Zoom. Now, if you're using a different platform for your lives, then I don't know, but you and I can work something out on that as well. Yeah, Teresa says she refuses to look at the camera. Yeah, she's terrible about that. She's talking about Finley. So there you go. All right, Julie says she loves the speckled legs. That's one of my favorite features about her. Her mama was a beagle, and she had the speckled legs, and that sort of like her markings, the painting, I call it the painting. Looks very much like a mama, but she also looks very much like her dad, who was a dachshund. So there we go. All right, did I miss anything? No, I think we're good. Okay, so it's almost 9:30, so we might go ahead and wrap things up, so that way Dani can go back to sleep or do whatever else she's got going on.
Well, I'm up now.
Well, maybe you'll get some stuff. Yeah, maybe you'll get some stuff done this morning. Sometimes people come on and then they actually get productive afterwards as well. So we'll see what it is.
Maybe I can convince Mr. Wizard to take me out for breakfast.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so this is a good question. I want to see what everybody else thinks about this. Teresa West asked if anyone can help her. If you're making a quilt for a show, do you wash it before? I don't. I have never washed a quilt for a show. I don't know how that would work with the crinkling and that sort of thing there. I think you'd be better off. Like my experience, my thing would be to say no. Okay, Dawn is
Yeah, I
saying
would think
no.
you wouldn't want the puckering.
Well, I'm looking at Dawn too for my quilt project, and she's a certified county quilt show judge. So she says there are techniques to block the quilt. Yeah, I've never done that. What I do with mine is I use the little rolly thing to get all the lengths. Yeah, like all the little pieces of the batting, and that's because mine are always dark backgrounds, so there's always a bunch of batting lint and that sort of thing there. So I always put the little lint roller. Wow, we have 95 viewers. That's amazing. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, basically everyone's saying yeah, no washing. But yeah, definitely block it, because they will look for the straightness and that sort of thing there. But if you enter a show, just put it in. Like, do your best, put it in. The nice thing is with the quilt shows is you often get a nice report from the judges. So even if you don't win a ribbon the first time round, I think submitting it for the first time is the scariest thing you'll do and the hardest thing you'll do, but you'll get that report card back later on and you'll know how to improve for next year. Or for the next show. Like, yeah, just if you're interested, jump in and do it and just have some fun with it. And because the report card is really yeah, really good for that. So there we go. All right. So let's see. Okay, techniques, same way. I'm up. Yeah, Janine says once she's up for the whole day. I'm the same way. I'm definitely the same way. Like, I very much can't really go back to sleep. So, um, yeah, I was very scared too. My first time entering a quilt show, like, that quilt actually now hangs in my cube at the office. Um, I wasn't expecting a whole lot. I picked up third prize, um, in the doll quilt, and I've gotten third the next year, and then this year I highly commended. So, yeah, if you're thinking about it, take the plunge. Just have some fun with it. You know, it can be a little hurtful sometimes reading the comments, from the judges, but just remember they're there to, you're graded on a scale, like you're graded against the perfect quilt, or what the ideal specifications, and just take that and use it to make your um next quilt even better. So there you go. All right. So, Valence is just an answer to quilt. I'm checking. Yeah, I mean, if you're not interested, don't. But if you're interested and you're on the fence, just take the plunge. Just give it a go and see what happens. You may surprise yourself. Like, I remember when I walked up the first time and saw that white ribbon next to my quilt, I thought I won the lottery. So, you just never know. So, good morning, Gina. It's good to see you as well. She says, good morning, catching the replay. She'll go back and watch the replay later on. So, let's see, before we go, Dani, what do you have coming up on your channel that people should go and check out?
Well, we're going to be finishing up some projects that we were at the tail end of last year, and we have 4 new projects that we're going to be starting, at least 4 new projects that we're going to be starting this year. Actually, we're going to be starting one right here this month. It's called Resilient. I had been gifted a fat quarter bundle for Anne of Green Gables by Riley Blake. And I've had it for a couple of years, and I've been trying to find a pattern that would really utilize those fabrics, big pieces that you would really be able to see those fabrics and showcase them the best. And so I finally found one. It's called Resilient. And so we're going to be starting that. I don't think it's this week. I think it's next week. So we're going to be starting that soon. The PMQ is going to be going. That's going to be running on our After Dark series, which is a Saturday evening stream as opposed to my normal Sunday morning streams at 10:30 a.m. Central. We work on full-size projects and I rotate them all out. So we're never working on the same thing twice in a row. We're constantly rotating our different projects, but we do work on full-size projects from start to finish. So you'll get to see me actually ironing up the fabrics and cutting them all up. And so we do the whole thing. So if you wanted to do a sew along with any of those, I always try and give plenty of opportunity for anyone that's interested in doing a sew along with me. So they can get the fabrics together and and get their pattern set up, and then we can start on the whole project together. So it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun gambling on my channel. There's some gambling involved.
Now, with the gambling with that, let's just talk about that real quick. It's what they call thimbles. It's you get thimbles automatically for each minute you watch, I think it is. And
every 5 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, it's every 5. Okay, well, I didn't know. I make stuff
as long as you're a subscriber to the channel, it's basically a points program is basically what it is. It's inside the streaming software that I use. And so basically you receive a certain number of thimbles for every 5 minutes that you're watching the stream. And then if you participate in chat, you get a couple more, but there's a couple of games that I run actually in chat. One of them is a slots machine game, and the other one is like a luck of the draw heist kind of game. And you can earn even more thimbles that way. And then those thimbles, you can actually trade those in for prizes whenever you get enough of them. And I've got a bunch of different prizes listed out. I actually had one redemption last week. So we give away notions, we give away fat quarters, we give away free patterns, not free patterns, but purchase patterns. I give them away as gifts. We've got some really big prizes up there. One of them is to be a special guest on the channel for a day. And then the other one is actually you get to pick, if you get the really big prizes, you actually get to pick the next project on the channel, which is, I mean, I haven't gotten anybody that's redeemed that one yet, but there's some people that are pretty close. So we have a lot of fun, but they do the gambling with the slots machines, and then you can actually duel some of the other subscribers within chat. So like one of you will win something and the other one won't, and it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun with all the silly stuff in the morning. We have a lot of silly things. And projects, those are fun too.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I guess that the word gambling can kind of give the wrong taste in some people's mouths.
It does, yeah. And there's no money that ever
There's not-
changes
yeah.
hands. Yeah, it's all in points. There's no one has ever charged anything. It's all in fun, and there's, even if you lose all of your thimbles, my moderator, he gives most of them back to you. So we never want anyone to lose or not have any fun. So
Yeah.
he is very generous with the thimbles, making sure
Yeah,
that
he does a
everybody
great job
has
of
enough
that.
to play with.
Yeah, he does a lot. He does a really good job of that. And it's just like it's just a fun little game you can like. I guess it's more a game. Yeah, I think
It is.
that's a good one. But to talk about before we go, the Anna Green Gables thing, I think that's really neat. I don't know if anyone else has ever had a chance to go see the Anna Green Gables house up in Prince Edward Island. But if you ever get a chance to go see that place in person, it's well worth the trip. We went there once, back in 2012, I think it was. Yes, that's it. Mona says it's a loyalty rewards program. I think that's probably a good way to. But there you go. Yeah, I've seen that.
Well, that's a great way.
Yeah, it's a lot of, yeah, it's a beautiful house. If you ever get a chance to go see it, it's a lot of fun. You get to go through the house and you get to see all the different places that's mentioned in the book there as well. But it is quite a hike from the US. You have to go all the way up to Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, and then from there it's like another like 45 minutes or an hour. It's like basically on the north side of the island. But yeah, it's a beautiful island to visit. If you ever get a chance to go to PEI, definitely do so. It's a beautiful, beautiful spot in the world. So Amy says it's on her dream list. Yeah, we just it was one of the stops on a cruise we took several years ago. And I never heard of Prince Edward Island or Charlottetown, but I found this cruise and I told my wife, I said, okay, well, stopping in Halifax, Sydney, Nova Scotia, Charlottetown, and she just started jumping up and down. I was like, what are you going on about? Like, then she started telling, that's where the Anna Green Gables is. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad. I'm glad it makes you happy. So yeah, it's a really neat little museum to go see. So there we go. But I'll have my podcast tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I will actually be able to talk and actually present, because last Sunday I got up, I wrote down my notes, I pulled all the projects out, I was ready to go, and I could not talk. Like, I was like, well, we can mime. I can do subtitles, or we can just put this off a week. And I figured the best thing to do is put it off a week. So there we go.
I don't know. I think the mime might have been fun. It might have been entertaining.
Yeah, but then there's some poor person came along for the first time and saw me on this. I was like, yeah, that might not be a good idea. So
that could have been funny.
yeah, I really think about it, but I was like, nah, yeah. As much as didn't want to put it off, I was like, I think I have to. And then I had to do my recording for the quilt really, the collab that I was doing with Steve and Stephanie and Shannon as well. And that pretty much took all of it out of me. So I was like, yeah, okay, well, sometimes you just got to step back and that sort of thing there. Jean says she has a long arm, but I still buy basting for hand quilting on a large table, just like you described, always a quilt on the long arm. So really based on that makes sense. All right, so we have run over. We've been doing our something goodbye now for what, 20 minutes?
That's what happens when you put me on the channel. I just keep talking.
That's all right. Hey, it's always good to have the chatty ones with me. It makes my job easier. So
the chatty ones, he says.
it's a good thing. Like I've had other people like, Stephen from Land Designs told me the same thing. He's like, I talk a lot in the channel. I was like, it's fine with me, I have to say less. So, it works as well. So there you go. All right. So let's see. I don't like having so many whips, but I'll never catch up at this point. Really with that, I mean, when it comes to whips, have fun with your projects. If you want to have 20 whips, 30 whips, 68 whips, like somebody I know, have that. As long as you're having fun, don't worry about that. That's my advice to everybody.
I get bored easily, so that's why I'm constantly rotating my projects in and out, because I get bored too easily. I can't do the same thing 2 weeks in a row. It makes me crazy.
Me too. And I've had people come to me and say, hey, I liked it. It's almost like I like to go back to the Forrest Gump thing, like my channel's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you got to get. So that's
Well, I do
what
try
I
to
do.
organize my videos on my channel so that if there are those people that really have to watch things, from start to finish all at one time, I do try to create playlists for each of the
Oh, yeah.
projects so that somebody can go back and watch the whole project from start to finish. I mean, it's pretty long because each one is 2 hours long, but at least that way they'll be able to follow through with it a little bit easier. But yeah, I can't do two things. I can't do the same thing 2 weeks in a row. It bores me.
Yeah, no, the playlist is good. I mean, I do that like for my puzzle mystery quilt time lapses and that. It's all organized that way. But yeah, if you're looking for a start to finish on one project on my channel, um, I hope you find what you're looking for, because it's probably not, yeah, because I do what I like and I just bring you along for the journey. All right. So yeah, Mona says she's jumps from one project to another like a squirrel looking for a nut. Yep, I'm with you on that. I think there's more of us like that than we care to count. Okay, is Danny live tonight?
Not tonight, no. We will be starting up our After Dark series next week. So I'm live tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Central Time, and then we'll be doing our After Dark series next week. I'll be live Saturday night and then again Sunday morning. So, who knows what the Sunday morning stream is going to look like. I might be hungover. We'll have to wait and see. It all depends on how much drinking ends up happening on the Saturday stream. Although usually I'm not the one drinking, it's usually my mom that is. So, but yeah, you'll guys, so everybody's been asking about her, so you'll get to see her again next weekend, Saturday. I think 6:30 p.m. Central is when we're gonna start. You'll have to check the channel to see the exact time. I don't have it in front of me at the moment. So next week.
Yep, sounds good. All right. So Mona says she calls it the goodbye tour. So yeah, I like that. The goodbye tour to something goodbye, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out with us today. It was a lot of fun interacting with each and every one of you. I had a lot of fun. I didn't get very much done, but yeah, I think that's the product of having a good conversation with my guest. So, I always bring on about 4 times as much as I think I'm actually going to get done. If you come back soon, you'll see like more progress on this. I hope to show off some like
I got
progress
a
on
little
this.
bit done.
Hey, as long as you got something done, and if not, as long as we've entertained the people that have come to hang out with us, we have done our jobs. So there we go. All right. So
I hope everybody gets warmed up over there.
yeah,
There's a lot of cold weather over there, so I hope everybody gets a chance to warm up.
it's a good excuse to stay inside and so. That's what I'm
Absolutely.
going with. All right.
Yep,
Well,
absolutely.
you all have a great day. Happy sewing, and we'll see you all next time. Go check out Danny's channel if you haven't done so already. Donnell will be live in about 18 minutes. We really do have to go. And go check out all my other quilty friends as well. I hope you all have a great day. Happy sewing. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.